All right, so tonight we're going to be working on the WK. So this is a 2007 Grand Cherokee with the 5.7 liter HEMI in it, and recently it threw a code. And the code it's got is P0344, which it says is camshaft position sensor circuit intermittent bank 1 or single sensor. So there is only a single sensor on the HEMI, and so that's what we're going to look at today. So like I said, this is a 2007 Jeep Grand Cherokee with the 5.7 liter HEMI in it, and this should be the same for any other vehicle that has the 5.7 HEMI in it, which would be, they put it in a lot of different vehicles, Dodge Ram, Chargers, etc. So I'm assuming that, it should be the same for any of those as long as it's the 5.7 HEMI. So anyway, the camshaft sensor is kind of buried down there. You can't see it right now. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this plastic cover out of the way, and then I'll show you where it's at. So taking the plastic cover off is super easy. Just got to undo the oil filler cap, and then it just pops off. Just pull up on the front, the whole thing just pops right off. Alright, now that I got the cover off, let's see if I can get you a good view of the camshaft position sensor. So the camshaft position sensor is actually right there. That is the plug for it. You can see the plug right there, and there's one little 10mm screw, it looks like, that holds it in. So I'm going to take off this air box just so I have a little bit more room to get my hands in there. You might be able to do it without that, but I just find it a little easier if I get that out of the way. Alright, so to get this off, there's a 10mm screw right here that holds it on. And then there are clamps. There's one here that holds it onto the throttle body, and there's a couple over here that hold it onto the air cleaner. That's a 10mm, that one I just took out, and these clamps are usually 5/16. And then there's also a plug down here that you got to unplug. I'll probably wait till I lift it up because it's easier to get to. Just loosen those clamps up a little bit, and then you should be able to work this thing off. Like that. And then the whole thing pulls off the throttle body and pulls out. And let's see, there we go. There's the plug I was talking about, so you want to make sure you get that unplugged before you try and take it out. And then that whole thing just comes on out of there. Alright, so now that we got that air box out of the way, we can get a little better view of the camshaft position sensor. It's right there. That is the plug for it, and that right there is the one bolt that holds it in. So I got my new part here. This is what the new one looks like. This is a Delphi part. That's the Delphi part number. I don't remember what the original Chrysler part number is, but that's the Delphi part number. And the sensor looks something like that. It's just a little, I think it's magnetic type sensor, because there's a tone ring on the camshaft that this reads as it goes around, and that's what allows the engine to know how fast the engine is rotating, so it can set the timing accordingly. But yeah, you can see there's just a plug on the end right there, and then this little tab that's held in by that one bolt. So I'm going to take the old one out, and then we'll put this one in. So now that I got the bolt out, the sensor should just pull right out. There we go. Just got to wiggle it a little bit. There we go. Now it is out. And I left the wire connected because there's not a whole lot of space in here to get my hand around because of these lines that are coming off of here. This is a hard line coming out of the throttle body, And anyway, now that I got it down there, I should be able to pull the plug off. There it is. It's a little push tab right there. Wiggle it around and there you go. Plug is disconnected. Alright, so there's my new one. And like I was saying, I find it easier if you put the plug on first because I can't get my hands in there to grip it when it's in there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the plug on first and then put it into the hole. Should just go right on there. There we go. Clicks right in. And then we'll just kind of work this back down in there. There's just a little hole right there in the engine. It can only go in one way basically. Kind of just put it in there and try and line up the hole on the bracket with the threads that it's supposed to go in there. Right about there you can kind of see the threads through that hole maybe. Anyway, I'm gonna push it in there because there's a little rubber seal on the end and it kind of will push in and pop in, so try to do that. There we go. Popped right in. And you can see right there that my threads are pretty much lined up with that hole. So now I just got to put that bolt back in. And you can see now, like right here where I'm reaching through, this is where that big plastic air box and the air intake was, so that's why I like to take it off. I don't know, you might be able to reach through up here, but I find it a whole lot easier if you take that out and get out of the way, because then I can get to it from this angle. Okay, that is finger tight. Now I just need to snug it up with the wrench. Doesn't have to be super tight just to hold that sensor in, and also I'm pretty sure you're going into aluminum, so you don't really want to crank on it super hard. That should be good. Yep, it ain't moving around. Alright, so now I'm just going to put that airbox back on. So there's a couple things to be aware of when you're putting this airbox back on. First thing you want to pay attention to is this right here. If you can see that, there's a hole right there in this kind of, plastic thing, and so that lines up with this post right here. This post is going to go into that hole on the bottom of the airbox, and that's what kind of holds it down in place. The other thing you want to pay attention to is this I guess it's a vacuum hose of some type. It goes into the airbox or into the air filter over there, but it runs across here, and there's kind of like, little contours here. It sits kind of in there, like pretty much right on the back of this thing, something like that. So just kind of watch that when you put it on. That'll be about like that, I think. And anyway, the big thing though is to watch so that this hole gets lined up with that post. I can't really get a good shot of it because this plastic box is going to block everything when I put it on there. But just something to watch for. You want to make sure that that post right there actually goes into that hole and isn't like sitting underneath it, because if it's sitting underneath it, this whole thing's going to be up too high and it's not going to line up right. And the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you reconnect that plug, because it's a lot easier to get it connected before you get this thing seated. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to take this little plug right here and reconnect it onto the airbox. Clicks right on, and then like I said, you want to line up the top of the throttle body with this hose that goes on there, but then also underneath on the bottom, make sure that that hole right there is going to line up with that post. See, right now I'm way too high, and so this vacuum hose actually comes out and goes on the other side of that, I believe. Yeah, it sits up there right like that, and then the post is right there. That's got to go into that hole. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get a good shot of this while I'm doing it, because I got to kind of wobble it around and get it on there. So let me see what I can do. Okay, there we go. Once you get it in there like that, should more or less slide on. There we go. Just slides right on. And you can tell it's on there good and solid. So now that's lined up there. I got to make sure that I get this hose correct. It's folded in right now. That needs to go over the plastic, so I got to kind of screw around with that until I can get it on. But I'll get those on. So actually, sometimes I find it easier to take this whole air cleaner off to get that on. So I'm going to do that. Air cleaner box just comes off with 2 little clips right there, and there's another one over there. Pop that off, and then this whole thing lifts up. Now I can try and get this back on a little easier. There we go. It just slips right on there. Now I got to get my air cleaner box back in. And also line up this part of that hose for the air cleaner. There we go. Should just shove it back in there, just like that. There we go. Just make sure that goes on all the way on the bottom, all around there, because you don't want it like only halfway on, because then because if it's not on all the way, you'll be sucking air outside of that hose instead of through your air cleaner. So, all right, that feels like it's on there good on the bottom. It's on here good on the top. On this one right here, there's that little rubber tab that's supposed to line up between these two. I don't know that it really matters, but I always line it up that way because then it makes these a lot easier to get to. So now I just need to tighten these up, tighten that one up, put that bolt back in, put the cover back on. There we go. Didn't have that shoved on all the way, so my bolt here wasn't lining up. So I just loosened this clamp up and pushed it down a little bit further, and now it lines up good. All right, so when you're trying to put this top cover on, there's a couple posts right there, and maybe another one there. But these two at the front are the ones that I pay attention to. But they line up with these rubber cups on the underside of the cover. Yeah, so on this side with the oil cap, you can see there's only one, so you only got to worry about that one. That one at the back, I don't know what it's for. But that one right there lines up with this. Okay. And then this front one here lines up with that one right there. So when you put those on, just try and line those up. I find it's easiest to line up the hole for the oil filler with the filler neck. just like that. Should be lined up, and then you just kind of push kind of hard on that. I can't get it with just one hand. I don't know how well you can see it, but right past that vacuum line you can see the post and little cup is lined up. So I should just be able to pop it on. There we go. Just put a little weight right there behind the filler cap and it pops right into place. Same with these on that side. Those are both down and that is in place. And don't forget to put your oil cap back on. Okay. One other thing, if you took the air filter box off, don't forget to reconnect this little line to the side of it. There we go. Alright, so the last thing I need to do is I need to clear the codes. So to do that, I'm using this app called Torque. There's a light version you can download for free. And then I'm using a Bluetooth OBD2 adapter. This is a iCar Pro, I guess. I bought it off Amazon. This one in particular has some pretty good reviews, and it's been really good for me. So anyway, so just plug that into the OBD2 port, which is right here under the dash on the WK. It's that port right there. So just plug that in there. Turn the ignition to run, but not all the way to start. So you just want it on and not starting. And then in Torque, it should connect. If this is the first time, you'll have to tell it which adapter to use. It shows up as V-Link, that one, but it depends on what adapter you're using. Anyway, open up Torque, go into the fault codes here. And then I'm going to clear logged faults. And it says, yeah, you should only do this if you fixed it. Well, hopefully we fixed it. And it doesn't really give an indication of it's done. So usually I like to go back into the fault codes and click show logged faults again. And then across the bottom, little message will pop up right there. It says no fault codes stored in ECU. So it is cleared out now. And check engine light is off, and hopefully it will now stay off. The engine's running, so that means that camshaft sensor is working. Because without a camshaft sensor that works, the engine wouldn't run at all. So the one that was in there wasn't failing completely. The code was that it's getting intermittent issues with it. But we know that the new one is working or the engine wouldn't run at all. So that will hopefully take care of the problem, and hopefully the code won't come back. So hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching.